All right, Spoilercast time, guys.
All right. I don't know where to start.
I start with the credits since we just
Yeah, let's go with the credits
So
first.
the reason
So
I gave it a little bit might give it a little bit higher, almost into the 3 range, is because of the credit scene. Not the end credit scene, but like while the credits are rolling, it's just Chris Hemsworth when he was like taken over by a ghost, just making everybody dance because he takes over him, and it's just the dance moves he's doing.
it was
Chris
fucking
Hemsworth being
hilarious.
Chris Hemsworth and how gorgeous
And
he is.
and it was all interacting with the credits too, so it was really just like there was a motion graphic artist who was like, I don't give a shit about Ghostbusters, but this is fucking funny.
Yeah, like if Chris Hemsworth did something like this with his hands, the credits moved over.
Yeah.
No, it was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. And then, but the other thing I probably would say that made me bump up a little bit higher than I didn't mention before because I don't want to spoil it was the cameos.
So I liked
Cool
I liked half of the cameos. So I loved
I probably liked one.
I liked Dan Aykroyd. I thought he was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, two.
And I liked I don't remember his name.
Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. Yeah, I loved Ernie
Solid.
Hudson to the end. He was fucking great.
Solid 2 cameos.
Bill Murray's cameo I thought was totally unnecessary. Should have been a different character, and Bill Murray should have been
just some,
smaller part.
Yeah, like I get that he was the one with the TV show that said we want to believe in the OG Ghostbusters, and they made him the complete opposite of that in his cameo, which is supposed to be funny and appeal to nostalgia people, but
He played a tool, like
yeah,
a complete
he just
tool.
He played it so
Not
poorly.
even like a funny guy.
Yeah,
he was just a
didn't
jerk.
have any actual jokes. He didn't have any Bill Murray deadpan jokes.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything Bill Murray does.
Yeah, and I just thought that cameo was the worst. The other cameo, it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good. The Venkman, did you see this?
I didn't like it.
So
it was a nice.
It was a nice gesture, but it was too small. I think it should have been bigger.
Yeah.
So in the college, at the beginning, there's a conversation happening between the main character, whose name I don't know, Kristen Wiig's character, and her dean. She's like a professor. And as he's leaving, there's a bust, like a copper bust in the hallway of Venkman.
Yeah.
I don't know who the character is supposed to be in the universe, but it's Venkman. And it was there for like half a second.
Nothing.
And then that's it. As he walks by.
But this said at the end of the credits, it was for him.
Yeah, so they did do a thing in the credits at the very end of the credits, which I mean is good. I'm glad they did it, but I think it should have been higher up in the credits. But
I don't want them to go through with that in the sequel. What we're talking about is at the end of the credits, they're listening to EVP and Leslie Jones says, "Who's Zool?" And
that was. I don't want them to remake Ghostbusters 1.
I don't like that.
It's the bad guy in 1.
Yeah, it was the bad guy in 1, and I want them to make just a new Ghostbusters. I don't want them to be running off of nostalgia this whole time.
I think they already did that. Like, just move on at that point.
Yeah, just be done with it. Go.
These actors, I think, are actors. They're all everyone's an actor.
Everyone's an actor. Yeah, I mean,
they would be better suited to play these characters in a TV show that does Monster of the Weeks.
I agree with that. I like that.
At least playing these characters, because I don't think they were the greatest. These actresses are totally cool.
I like Kate McKinnon's character.
She was super weird.
Yeah, I
thought she was funny. Yeah.
I didn't like Kristen Wiig's character that much. It was kind of...
She's kind of annoying.
But it was kind of funny when she was obsessed with Chris Hemsworth.
That was part of the first half of the movie that I thought was funny.
Leslie Jones was a little too much.
Yeah, I didn't like her.
I didn't
obsessed with Chris Hemsworth at all.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was one of those things that like anything with Chris Hemsworth's character, except like the very end when he was the bad guy. They kept like doing it over every single joke. They did it over and over again. Like, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. We get it. Yeah. He doesn't know how to use a phone.
I just didn't like her.
We get it.
Continuously talking about how pretty he was. Like,
I mean, I do that sometimes though.
The repetition is supposed to be funny, but like for me, I was just like,
yeah, I get it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can we do more things? Like, they jump around with this tech so much in this movie. And they could have used all that time to maybe explain how she creates 5 different variations of the blaster in literally a scene change.
So one thing that bothered me is, the pipe that she's like, hey, you like my
I'm
pipe?
gonna use it for a shotgun.
And then she had a shotgun.
Yeah, and then she just had it.
There was literally never a break in time for her to make the shotgun, and someone else had the shotgun in the final combat.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is stupid. The punch thing, while cool looking, stupid. The little pistols, stupid. None of it was necessary. The clippers were the only thing I thought was cool. The little clip, the thing that Leslie Jones used. Yeah, that was cool. But also they just became Ghostbusters. Do Men in Black 2 when they get all the extra shit. Don't have it all happen all at once.
Yeah, if they kept it with the makeshift, not even proton pack, just carrying along a cart for a little while longer, I would have been like, cool. They're learning how to utilize this equipment to best catch ghosts. But they just go, hey, we did it once. Guess what? Now it fits on a backpack.
Yeah, and I found
it.
it.
Now it's handheld.
I found it a little annoying that every time they showed one of these pieces of tech, they tried to fake science it, which I just thought was unnecessary. Every single time they did it is they fake scienced it, and I was like, okay, I get it. I don't know what makes that do its thing. Just keep going. None of these are words.
Dude, there is one MVP of this movie. Do you know who it is?
Kate McKinnon.
No. She's cool. But the MVP.
The Chinese food delivery boy?
Yes.
Oh, he was solid.
Fucking hilarious.
Indian dude that drives a taxi in Deadpool. That's who played Bill Pinder.
So good.
That's great.
Yeah, no, he was fucking hilarious.
Totally Indian.
When they blow up his bike, he's like, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
No, he was, I like the little
so
character. That was my favorite character, probably, which is kind of weird to say.
So good.
I want to know another thing I really disliked. Slimer.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that
He
they
just-
gave him a wife and an almost storyline.
Yeah, he stole their car.
Yeah.
And drove it into a hole with a female Slimer that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, which
in a back seat full of pilgrim ghosts that are partying, and I'm like, this is just stupid.
Well, okay, so
You gonna try and explain to me why pilgrim ghosts were partying in the back seat of a Ecto One, which bothers me to say that.
Another point that I wanted to make was and this is one of the only times I'll compare the first OG Ghostbusters and this. Slimer in the original was the only ghost that was really just not a human. There were others, but they were different. They were from another dimension, and they were in Ghostbusters 2 and all that. In this movie, they just make everything a ghost.
Like balloons.
Yeah.
Which fucking bothered me.
They made balloons ghosts.
Yeah, that was one of the things in the second half, I think. I was kind of bought in on the second half, the whole war with the pilgrims and everything. And
I
was fine with it, but then it had the big tall dude from
the
the
wacky
circus,
inflatable arm, and
but then
flailing tube man.
But then the parade happened, and it was just.
It doesn't
and
make
they killed
sense.
the ghost by using a Swiss Army knife, just because it popped.
Because it pops a balloon. Oh.
But
I guess
it was a ghost.
You need a nuclear reactor to get rid of ghosts. They established that in this movie, not a fucking.
And so another thing that bothers me about their guns is they were killing ghosts with the proton packs.
Yeah,
they don't do that.
She sliced them in half with the 2 pistol whips.
They don't do that.
No,
they hold them and tether them.
I did like the pistols, solely because it reminded me of Castlevania.
The pistols I'm more okay with than the other things, but
that little montage of that scene
of her just slow mo killing shit.
That's actually pretty cool.
That was cool. It was totally not how you take care of ghosts,
and that's where it comes in. I don't really realize that, and I thought it was cool.
Well, even in this established universe, they had to build a specific containment unit for a ghost, and all of a sudden they just kill them all?
Yeah, and they talk about them holding the ghosts with the proton packs, and then all of a sudden the rules that they set in their own universe are gone. That's a major thing that bothers me with these types of movies is if you set a rule, maintain it. Don't change it.
Yeah, that's why It Follows was really good, but they just threw the rule book out near the end of that movie.
Just one guy, just only one rule broken there. Watch It Follows if you haven't seen it.
I don't think I personally don't have anything else to say about the movie, spoiler wise.
So,
Well, we can just kind of go over the plot, like, near the end. Villain, we haven't even talked about because he's so not important.
Yeah.
And terrible.
Yeah, he just doesn't have any...
It's just some dude that's obsessed with, like, bringing on a cataclysm.
Well, he just,
Because he's a nerd and people made fun of him.
He doesn't
like
society, so he decides to bring all the ghosts out.
based on reading
her book.
Her book.
Kristen Wiig's character's book.
And Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. And Melissa, yes, they co-wrote it. Sorry.
Which I was just like, really? This entire thing is just...
Who is another character that we haven't talked about because it's so inconsequential.
I mean,
Melissa McCartney?
The one...
She was annoying.
I'm
more than
tired of Melissa McCarthy. In the beginning, she was pretty funny. She was funny when she was at SNL, but like it's just like the same character.
Yeah, she didn't push the plot forward at all. Like, she co-wrote that book, but she made no effort to even seem like she co-wrote that book, other than agreeing with Kristen Wiig, like, oh, that's definitely that kind of apparition. That's definitely that.
Yeah.
Like,
so the only two people that seemed intelligent about the ghosts were Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon's character. Yeah. Kate McKinnon only because she was like the crazy scientist who.
Yeah, because she
makes the stuff that tethers them and captures them, but then Kate McKinnon's character, I don't remember the name. You said Holtzman was Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I don't know. None of the characters were like great. The villain, when he took over, what's his name? Hemsworth.
He was okay.
He was better than the rest of the movie.
Because Chris Hemsworth is a better actor.
But the thing that bothered me is they wrote his character differently.
That's true.
Like, he was cockier, and he was...
He became like, oh, I'm good looking now. I'm gonna be more talkative.
His like
cocky
vocal mannerisms changed, which shouldn't have happened. It should have stayed the same.
It was a total change of character.
I don't know. It was just kind of lame. One thing, spoilery, that I did really like is how they got their logo.
Yeah,
that dude was hilarious.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. So they were in a subway looking for a ghost, and there was a graffiti artist there, and Leslie Jones being a MTA person.
You knew who that was? He looked familiar to me.
I don't know.
He looked familiar, but I don't know who he was.
Like
So he worked she worked for the subway, and he was spray painting in her subway, and they knew each other.
He went to stop.
And they were going to ask a question about looking for a ghost, and they were like, it was like, oh yeah, I saw a ghost. And then they were like, oh yeah, what did it look like? And then he's like, oh, this is what. And then he starts spray painting on the wall. And she's like, no, don't do that. And all the other girls are like, no, keep going. And then as they walk by afterwards, as the Ghostbusters look at it, I was like, all right, I like that. That was funny. And then he like just walks away casually backwards.
I had a little bit of continuity error there. He was already spray painting something.
No, he
wasn't. He didn't start yet.
Oh, I thought he had already sprayed stuff.
Made a comment about his blank canvas.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought he was spraying stuff, and then she told him to stop.
He was shaking, and the camera starts behind them when the whole conversation starts, and the wall is blank.
Okay.
It's really quick that you actually see the wall until the end.
And
but
Kate McKinnon just goes click and takes a picture and saves it.
Yeah, I thought she's like, that'd be a good logo, which I thought was unnecessary, but
it's all nostalgia. It's all meant to make you feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, and like the Ecto one was whatever. It was funny that it was a hearse rather than an ambulance, and
I did miss the original siren.
Me too.
But they were trying to make it.
I did think it was funny that they were in a Chinese food restaurant.
I like that.
Rather than they stopped at the firehouse.
The firehouse.
It was too expensive, so they left. And then at the very end, they get their firehouse back.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it was nice. I don't know, like, the plot was too thin, and if they just kept the plot at the first half where they're learning how to be Ghostbusters, I would have been super happy with it, and it would have actually opened up a lot of room for me to be like, cool, make as many sequels as you want. But the fact that they made the second half what it was, and, like, said, oh, by the way, you're now, like, super established Ghostbusters, go at it, have your fucking firehouse have everything you want.
Yeah,
ruined it.
And I feel like it went a little too extreme for the first in the series, is because like all of New York was being destroyed.
Like, how can they
and it got rewrote, obviously, because it's guess what happens when you pull the ghosts in is everything gets rebuilt.
Like,
That didn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I at that point I didn't care, so I was like, all right, city's fine.
The only thing that they could do to like redeem it almost is the same complaint I have with Supernatural is no one ever goes overseas. Like no one goes to another country. And now that New York's been blown up, essentially, like it was totally fine afterwards, which they don't really explain.
Yeah.
But if they were to say in the sequel, like, hey, guess what? Now a bunch of different ghost-busting agencies have opened. And then they kind of explore different societies' ghosts instead of America. I would be pretty happy about that.
See, but that's where it would be cool to do a weekly...
a Monster of the Week
Monster of the Week thing. But, I mean, who knows? Like, where do you go from, like, an entire city being sucked into hell?
You go to Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Supernatural, they go to Ireland at one point.
They do for like 5 seconds to dig up Crowley's grave.
Yeah, but you don't see him go there.
Yeah, they're just
He does it in, like, during a commercial break.
Yeah, they kind of dig him up. And then
Anyways, spoilers for, like, season 6 of Supernatural.
It's been ages, guys. Fucking get with it.
Also, watch Supernatural, because we're all fucking nerds.
I'm still not caught up, but...
Neither are we. That's fine.
That's fine.
Catch up before we do, and tell us in the comments the spoilers for season 11. So yeah, we didn't like the movie, but that doesn't mean you necessarily won't. Go check it out. It's not the worst.
The first half.
Watch the first half twice and you get a full movie.
Props to the first half.
12-year-olds will love it.
Oh, absolutely.
There were 12-year-olds in front of us dying.
Loved it.
Yeah, loved it. Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
I don't necessarily blame them. Like, we loved Ghostbusters when we saw it when we were kids, so I can't be mad about it.
If you're a grouchy old adult like me, your eyes will bleed for the second half.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was bad.
So,
But, yeah.
I hope you guys like this episode. If you do, subscribe to us on iTunes or here on YouTube or there on YouTube, depending on where you're listening to this. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at AlphaD21. Jesse's at Jesse McKim, and Austin is at Uber_Anvil.
Yeah. Haven't tweeted
Tang.
anything.
That's
I mean-
me on an anvil.
Yes.
You've never touched an anvil.
It goes tang though.
I mean, you're not wrong, probably, I assume. If you feel so inclined, you can also become our patron over at patreon.com/nerdswatching, where you get stuff if you give us stuff.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
We'll come hang out with you.
That
I'm not opposed.
that
As long
could,
as you're not creepy.
and you give us enough money to do that. So
Locally, that's fine too.
yeah, if you're local to our area,
Bay Area.
or Yay area,
That's the correct area.
maybe we'll do that. But yeah, until next week, guys.
Support your local craft brew.
Do it.
Yeah.
And have a nice day, guys.